Have you ever noticed that sometimes a woman doesn't need to say a single word, yet you can feel something powerful in the way she looks at you, the way she smiles, or even in the way she sits closer than usual? That unspoken language is not magic. It's a set of signals, subtle yet powerful, that tell you she desires intimacy. In today's video, we're exploring the signs a woman gives when she wants to get closer. Signs that are often hidden in plain sight. And more importantly, we'll look at them through a Stoic lens, because understanding desire is one thing, but mastering yourself in response to it is what truly defines strength. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe." When you learn to read a woman's signals without rushing, without losing yourself to impulse, you are not just connecting with her, you're mastering your own inner world. Let's begin with the first and most powerful sign: her eyes and her smile. Eye contact is one of the oldest forms of human communication. When a woman wants you, her eyes linger longer than they normally would. She may look at you, then glance away with a soft laugh, only to return her gaze again. That playful dance of attention is often her way of saying more than words ever could. And if that look is paired with a gentle, knowing smile, it's not just friendliness. It's an invitation. Think about it this way. Imagine walking into a crowded room. Most people look past you, distracted by their own conversations. But then, across the room, someone locks eyes with you and doesn't look away. Their smile feels directed at you, not at the room. That moment of silent connection can change the entire atmosphere. That's how her eyes work when she desires you. They hold you, even without a single touch. Now, let's move to the second sign: body language that reveals more than words. When a woman feels that pull toward you, she often finds ways to close the distance. Maybe she leans closer during a conversation, her knee brushing yours by accident. Maybe she touches your arm lightly while laughing at your joke, or adjusts something on your shirt that doesn't even need fixing. These aren't random gestures, they're intentional, instinctive ways of drawing closer. Here's a simple analogy. Think of a cat brushing against your leg. The cat doesn't need to announce its presence. The touch itself is the message. In the same way, her body language is her silent declaration of interest. And once again, this is where Stoicism matters. Seneca reminded us, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Don't let your imagination trick you into assuming every touch is desire. Some gestures are just politeness. The key is not to project what you want to see, but to observe calmly what's truly there. A wise man doesn't pounce at the first signal. Instead, he recognizes, he respects, and he responds with composure. Because when you act from self-mastery, rather than impulse, you create trust. Trust is the soil where real intimacy grows. So in this first part, remember, her eyes, her smile, her subtle body language, these are often the welcome back. In the first part, we talked about the power of eye contact, smiles, and body language. Now let's go deeper into the subtle shifts that reveal when a woman wants intimacy. These signals often go unnoticed because they're not loud or obvious, but once you see them, it's impossible to ignore. The third sign is the way her conversations change. When attraction deepens, her words take on a more personal and intimate tone. She might start asking about your private life, what you do when you're alone, your routines, or even your preferences. Sometimes she'll make playful comments that feel layered, as if they carry a hidden meaning. Imagine two people sitting across a table. At first, the conversation is about work, the weather, or movies. Then suddenly, she leans forward and says, "I always wonder what kind of man you are when no one's watching." That kind of question isn't random. It's her way of opening a door to deeper connection, hinting at her curiosity about the side of you that only a partner would know. This is where wisdom matters. Epictetus once advised, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. In moments like this, don't just say what you think she wants to hear. Instead, let your answers reflect who you really are. When she's seeking intimacy, honesty and composure are more attractive than any performance. The fourth sign is found in her voice and breathing. Desire changes physiology. Her voice may soften, slow down, or drop in tone when she's speaking with you. You may notice her laughter is lighter, almost nervous, or that she pauses before responding. Her breathing may become a little quicker when you sit close, or you might catch her taking a deeper breath, as if steadying herself in your presence. Here's an everyday example. Think about standing near a fire on a cold night. You don't even need to touch the flame to feel the heat. It radiates, reaching you without direct contact. That's how desire works in her voice. In breath, it radiates through the smallest changes, revealing more than she intends. But again, self-control is the key. Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. The mistake many men make is assuming that every shift in tone or every quickened breath is an invitation. It may be, or it may simply be the atmosphere of the moment. True strength lies in recognizing the sign without letting it control you. A man grounded in self-mastery doesn't chase every spark he observes, respects, and waits to see if the flame truly grows. In this second part, we've uncovered 2 more layers: how her conversation shifts from small talk to intimacy, and how her voice and breath reveal what words cannot. These aren't tricks, they're glimpses into her emotionally state, and the more calmly you read them, the more naturally connection deepens. So ask yourself this: are you the kind of man who reacts to every flicker of attention? Or are you the kind who notices the signs, stays centered, and lets things unfold in their natural rhythm? That choice, more than any single sign, defines the quality. We've already talked about her eyes, her body language, her words, her voice, and her breath. Now let's look at the final and most telling sign: when she creates private space for just the 2 of you. This is often the clearest indicator that her interest is more than casual. When a woman suggests spending time alone, inviting you for a walk, asking you to watch a movie at her place, or finding excuses to keep you near when others have left, that, rarely by accident, she's intentionally lowering the barriers. Between you, privacy is intimacy's doorway. And when she opens it, she's telling you she wants to step closer. Think of it like this: when you go to a theater, the curtain rising signals that the real performance is about to begin. In the same way, her effort to create private space signals that the next stage of connection is ready to unfold. But here's the challenge: you must decide how you respond. Do you rush in blindly, or do you read the moment with patience and respect? This is where Stoicism guides us. Seneca once said, "No man is free who is a slave to his body." If your response is only driven by desire, you risk misreading her and breaking the very trust she offered. But if your response is steady, respectful, and controlled, you not only honor her, you also honor yourself. Here's a real-world example. Imagine a woman you've been seeing invites you to her apartment after dinner. She pours a drink, turns on some music, and sits beside you on the couch. Everything in the room whispers intimacy. Now, many men would take this as a green light to push forward, but a wiser man pauses. He pays attention not only to the setting, but to her comfort, her body language, her energy. If she leans in, if her laughter lingers, if she maintains that closeness, then intimacy is mutual. If not, restraint shows strength, not weakness. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. This applies perfectly here. You cannot control what she feels or chooses, but you can control your response. That control is the essence of masculine strength. Women respect a man who reads the signs but doesn't force them, because true intimacy thrives only when both hearts are aligned, not when one rushes ahead. So what should you take from all of this? The signs, her eyes, her touch, her words, her breath. Her invitation into private space are not a checklist to manipulate. They are signals of trust. When you see them, treat them as gifts. And remember, just because she signals, desire doesn't mean you must act instantly. Sometimes, the strongest move is patience. Too close, think about this. Intimacy isn't just about passion, it's about respect. It's not about conquering, it's about connecting. A man who understands this builds relationships that are deeper, stronger, and longer lasting. While passion fades, respect and trust create a bond that endures. So, if you found value in these insights, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to Stoic Glow, and turn on notifications. So that way you won't miss the next conversation.